Hello, I am back again. And I don't know how long of an episode this will be, long or short, but thought I would just come back and show you what I've done here. I decided on the vocals, or the lyrics, to go ahead and apply a little more of the 80-20 rule that I was talking about in the previous episode. And while I didn't write another, but basically what I did is I wrote another, I think, 2 verses, and I've deleted them here now. I guess I could bring them back. Let's see. It was like 1.5. I wrote this extra 1.5 verses here. And then what I did was I just looked at them and I thought, is there any line or lines in here that I would like to replace lines in here? And all I ended up doing, I'm going to delete these again actually, but wait a minute. Actually, hold on. There we go. I think that was it. Yeah. All I ended up doing was replacing 2 lines, I believe. Paradox of life is something to see, an infinite swirling shining sea. Those are the 2 that I put, and I forget what was there. It was like it was references to animals, like a tiger and a snake or something, some kind of imagery like that. And I don't know. I thought maybe I liked these a little better, so I put those in there. But I made an effort anyway to try and be a little more, I don't know, put a little more effort into my lyric writing, I suppose. I sometimes feel like I just, I don't know, I take the easy route or something, which I don't know that's necessarily a bad thing. Like I said, I've been doing this for so long, you know, I start to think that it's, you know, I don't know, I suppose that it's, you know, I've built up a certain confidence in what, and I do think of it to some degree in my head as I'm writing it. You know, it's not like I'm just blurting out absolutely anything that comes to my mind. But I'll be honest, it's often kind of close to that. But even within the mental process of, you know, before I'm putting the words on paper, I'm often thinking of a line, and it's like, do I like that or do I not like it? You know, if I don't, then I just don't write it down. So anyway, that's what I've done with these vocals, these lyrics to vocals here, and I have my track armed and ready here. And I guess I'm just going to go ahead and try and sing these. I wanted to see. Okay, there's like a little. That's right. There's that little drum fill there between the 2 verses. So I'll be taking these headphones off and going for it here, I think. See how it works out.
Called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss. Here, I don't want to go on. I'm stopping here. I don't want to go on. I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone for just one kiss. The paradox of life is something to see, an infinite swirling shining sea. One moment I'm overwhelmed with gratitude, the next I'm in a mood. I still feel like I'm I'm trying to earn your love, oh Lord above. But why would I do that when you said you give it for free? Beats me, baby, I just don't know. Maybe I should go. An old lantern to light my way. I wish I could stay. It feels like I'm trying to save the world. Oh, what a fool I am.
Okay, and there you have that. And as I often do, I'm just going to cut out some of this dead area here. And you probably saw me stop there. I'm sure you did if you're watching this. You saw that I stopped there, and then I just went to, rather than have the whole middle section play, I just went to the next verse and started there. And there's a couple spots I noticed even as I was singing that I wasn't particularly thrilled with. Oh, and that echo is from having this on. Sorry about that. I noticed that in the previous video. But yeah, there was a couple spots that I wasn't particularly thrilled with. But I always like to listen back anyway, because sometimes I've found that, you know, during a performance maybe there was something I didn't like or thought I didn't like, and then when I listened back to it, I thought it sounded fine. So I always like to listen back to it, and I've taken up the habit of generally this has changed, I guess, over the years to certain degrees, but the habit I've gotten into now is that even if I do think I made a mistake, I'll often, unless it's something really glaring or something, and I suppose even sometimes if it is, I'll just continue all the way through to the end, and then come back and, you know, punch in parts if I need to. So let's hear this. This is dry with just the EQ moves there on it. But let's hear what it sounds like.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains.
Now, one thing I'd like to say right at the beginning here, and I think I've mentioned this before, but as you notice, there's a lot more dynamics in the vocal part than there is like in a distorted guitar part, which is this right here. See how this is all generally kind of the same thickness? I mean, there's a little variation there and over here. For the most part, it's all kind of the same thickness in terms of, you know, the height of it. And now if you look at this, look at all the different variances in height and whatnot. That's dynamics. That's volume. Literally the volume of the things I was singing were different. So in the case of something like this, one of the first moves I'll make is to put a compressor on it to try to even out those. That's what a compressor does, is it evens out volumes. So I'm going to come over to the compressor here and listen to a little of this and just try and get a compressor setting that I like.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
Honestly, this is a little strange here. Notice it seems to be like I'm hearing a big volume difference between the first line and this second line. Let me hear it again.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
I'm not sure. I'm going to put in my channel strip with my... Notice the S's are popping here at me again. And for now, I'm just going to put that de-esser on.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
Yeah, for some reason, that's this second line, although it doesn't look particularly different in terms of height, I would say. I mean, there's a lot of variation here, but generally speaking, it doesn't look dramatically different in height. You know, in height, or basically in height. The height of the waveform doesn't look dramatically different than the first one, but it sure sounds quiet.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
So what I'm going to do here, I think, I've noticed that the plosive of the P here is really hitting the compressor hard right at the beginning here. If you'll watch, this needle jumps right on that first P of people.
People you meet, they look at you.
See, it went all the way up almost to 8 there, I think.
People you meet, they look.
Yeah, it looks like it went to 6 at least. So I think what I'll do, let's see. This is kind of a, I don't know that I've really encountered this before necessarily, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit just that P and try and reduce that. Let's see.
People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're...
That sounds more even now. That initial P was hitting the compressor so hard, I wonder if it was causing it to make that whole line, or at least the beginning of it, sound quieter. Let me hear it in context now.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
I don't know. I say this like several times in each video, but these headphones that I'm monitoring on are not the best. I want to listen to this one more time and see if maybe I should bring up this line just maybe a dB or two.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
I don't know. It's a near thing. It's hard to say. One more time.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside.
I don't know. Going by the meter, it looks like they're fairly the same.
This thing called life,
see, right
it
about
waxes
4.
and wanes like the stuff in my brain.
That line's hitting right about 4.
People you meet, they
How's
look
this
at you
one?
nice, but they're hungry inside.
My guess is that they're actually pretty good. I'm not going to worry about that right now. I will leave this on clip gain, I guess, because I think the next thing I'll probably do is be going after some of the S's here. So let's just listen to it through now.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
I think I have a question on just the timing of this line. Let me hear how that comes in.
It gets so tough.
I guess that's okay. Let's go to the next one.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone for just one kiss. The paradox of life is something to see, an infinite swirling, shining sea.
Well, that was a line that I thought had some issues, and I still think it does. Let me hear it again.
The paradox of life is something to see, an infinite swirling, shining sea. The paradox of life.
I don't like the attack necessarily there. Seems like maybe I should have started it earlier, that phrase.
The paradox.
The paradox of life, like right on the one maybe. Let me see. Back up a little here.
Just one kiss. The paradox of.
The paradox.
Just one kiss.
The paradox.
The paradox.
Yeah, I think I'd like to start that closer to the one. So here's what I'm going to do. I guess I could put it on another take lane. There's already a couple there. Yeah, I'll start it back there. Let me think. I can do this move. Where does that phrase end? Okay. So I'll go from like there to there. I'll highlight that area, which is just that whole phrase basically from beginning to end with a little bit, you know, starting a little before and after. And then I hit this button here. And what that does is it's only going to record that part I've highlighted. It'll start recording at the beginning of the highlighted area and stop it at the end, so it doesn't run over anything that's already there, basically. So I'm going to try this again.
Just one kiss. Just one kiss. Just one kiss. The paradox of life is something to see. An infinite swirling, shining sea. One moment I'm overwhelmed.
Unfortunately, I did something, I don't know if I'd say wrong, but yeah, you could say that it was wrong. It was, you know, in that it was playing the first version as I was singing. It was a little bit confusing, but let's see if it worked. It was playing the first version back as I was recording the new one at the same time, and that was a little bit confusing. I'm not sure. I might have needed to mute this track probably, this take lane right here. But right now the new take is highlighted, and you can see the old one is grayed out. So let's hear what the new one sounds like.
Just one kiss. Paradox of life is something to see. An infinite swirling, shining sea. Just one kiss. Paradox of life is
I think that's better. Let's see.
Just one kiss. Paradox.
It almost sounds to me like, is that running over that? Cutting off maybe the beginning of it? Let me see.
Just one kiss. Paradox of life is something. Just one kiss. Paradox of life is something to see. An infinite swirling, shining sea.
Maybe I need a little more context. Let's start at the beginning.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs, all alone, for just one kiss. Paradox of life is something to see. An infinite swirling, shining sea. One moment I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. The next I'm in a mood, I still feel like I'm trying to earn your love. Oh Lord above.
I don't know. This one is a little bit tricky. Hear it again.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs.
I'm getting these pops in these headphones.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs, all alone, for just one kiss. Paradox of life is something to see. An infinite swirling, shining sea. One moment I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. The next I'm in a mood, I still feel like like I'm trying to earn your love. Oh Lord above.
Now that last part, I don't know.
Oh Lord above. Oh Lord above.
I feel like maybe I could do that better. Let's see.
Oh Lord above.
Yeah, I'm going to try and do that again. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Only this time I'm going to mute that one. Arm that one. And just have it record in that one area. Let me see where it is there. Oh Lord above. Okay, and I'm going to go for this.
Oh Lord above.
Let's see if that sounds any better to me.
Oh Lord above. Oh Lord above.
I think so. Let's unmute that. Let's shorten that. I see it's cutting off just the end of that note, so I gotta bring that back. And let's hear it from maybe here.
I still feel like I'm trying to earn your love. Oh Lord above.
I don't know, let's hear this one. The first one.
I still feel like I'm trying to earn your love. Oh Lord above.
Almost. Let's try this. A little technical here, but let's try the first part of that and the end part of that.
Oh Lord above.
Yeah, I think that.
Oh Lord above. Oh Lord above. Oh Lord above.
I might be hearing a pop in here. Let me see.
Oh Lord above. Oh Lord
Yeah, there's some strange little hiccup there.
above. Oh Lord above.
Let's see. I think what I'll do in this case is that part. Delete that part. I think I'll try it again.
Oh Lord above.
Alrighty.
Oh Lord above. Oh Lord above.
Yeah, I think that is my favorite so far, so turn that off. Here in a little more context here.
I still feel like I'm trying to earn your love. Oh Lord above.
Yeah, I think I like that now. And let's hear this last one.
But why would I do that when you said you give it for free? Beats me, baby, I just don't know. Maybe I should go. get my way. I wish I could stay. It feels like I'm trying to save the world. Oh, what a fool I am.
All right. Well, you know, sounds pretty good overall, I think. It is dry. You know, there's no effect on it again, other than just the de-essing and the EQ there. So I don't know. Do I want to try and put delay on this? Oh, we're getting that echo here. Let me turn this off. It's kind of annoying. I don't know. Maybe what I'll try is I'll try a different delay. Let's see. There's this other one I like to use if I can remember what it is. I think it's this one. Yeah, this one. Kind of cool. Let's try using this one and see what it sounds like.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
It's pretty subtle there.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name cause you've had enough. It gets so tough.
I like that.
Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
Just for the heck of it, like what I was talking about earlier. If we solo, I don't know, honestly don't remember if it was in this video or the previous one, but I think it was the previous one, where I was talking about how if you listen to things in solo mode where it's just, you're just listening to that track and you're adding like generally delay or reverb or even EQ, making EQ moves, it can sound really substantial within the solo mode. And so let's just listen to this in solo mode and hear what the delay sounds like.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
I think you can tell there that it sounds a lot more substantial than, now listen in the context of the rest of the music.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name cause you've had enough. It gets so tough.
I think you can tell that, at least it does to me, certainly does to me. It sounds a lot more pronounced when it's, just by itself. Of course, I mean, that's to be expected, I think. But sometimes it's almost like shocking. I've noticed, I think I've noticed it the most with reverb. You'll be applying reverb to something, and you'll think, my gosh, that's a lot of reverb. if it's soloed, and then when it goes back into with the rest of the music, all of a sudden it's like, what happened to my reverb? It's not there. So I kind of like that delay. That was, I don't even know what the settings. I did sync it so that the tempo of it synced to the song. That's the only change. Oh, I moved the intensity up a little bit. This other stuff, I don't even know what a lot of these things are, honestly. I just going by how it sounds. Feed, I imagine that's maybe how much you're putting in. How much of the, I don't know, honestly. Does it say? Oh, see how much processed audio is fed back into the input. Okay. It's feeding processed audio back into the input. Trash. What is this? Set amount of distortion added to delayed signal. Huh. Interesting. And this changes phase of delayed signal to create a wider sound. I don't know which one is on. I really don't. Is that on or off? What about this one? Shows filter view for the top delay. I guess that's on. I guess green is on. Whatever that color is, kind of a bluish green. I don't know. Let's listen to it and see if we notice a change.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
Interesting. I really haven't dug into this thing in terms of what all the knobs do and stuff. I've used it several times, but just kind of, I don't know, maybe mess with the time and the intensity more. And I've also moved this thing which says, sets the level at which signal split is triggered. Signal above the split is sent to the top delay. Signal below the split is sent to the bottom delay. Now, if that's true, it looks to me like this bottom is off. So let me look at this again.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
I just turned on the bottom one. Let's see what that does. Oh, I'll sync that too, I guess. Well, let's put it at a different time, though. I don't know, maybe like that.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
Yeah, what's happening there is a little hard for me to hear, honestly. I'm going to solo it just so I can get a clearer idea.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
Yeah, I don't know. Don't hear a huge difference between turning on that bottom delay in this instance. I think I'm just going to leave it like it was here.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
One last thing I think I'm going to do here. Let me see.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's so
Yeah, I just turned the volume down a little bit on the vocals there. Let's see. So the S's are still sounding a little sharp here to me. So I'm going to go in and look for them here. I think I see one right there.
This thing.
Yep. I'm going to turn off this, which is the resolution, so I can just grab exactly what I want to grab here. And 7.8.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes.
Waxes.
It waxes and wanes. It waxes and wanes. Waxes and wanes.
Yep, that's that right there.
Waxes and wanes like the stuff in my.
It's a little hard because of the latency here, but I'm going by the visual and the audio. As I described before, the S's are often more solid. Like this is probably one here, I'm gonna say.
It's like the stuff in. It's like the stuff.
I literally have to start it at the beginning though, because the audio isn't matching up with the video here.
Stuff in my. Stuff in.
Yeah, you can hear I'm right at the beginning of stuff there, the S. So I'll bring that down.
Stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but the
Nice, that's C sound. I'm guessing that's this right here.
but the
Yep, you hear that? I'm going between like 7 and 8, basically.
but the hungry inside.
Now that S inside wasn't too bad. Let me see if this is it.
Side, side.
Still, I'm gonna hit it a little bit at least. I don't know why some are probably louder than others, I imagine. That's why some bother me more than others.
Inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough,
The S on so. Is that this?
so tough.
Yep.
It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this.
The S on this.
It's such a
Such, is that it?
bliss.
No, I think that's the C of ch. Such, so it's probably here.
Such a bliss.
Yeah.
Such a bliss.
Even bliss is a little bit. It wasn't very loud, as you can tell. It's this right here. But, boy, can be abrasive. Let's see. Did I go too far? Let me see. Might have went a little too far with that one. Let me try it again. I'll do less of a cut, just like a 4. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's all right. So now I'll go to the next one.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs.
Stairs. Both of those. There's the S at the end. I believe this is the first S.
Stairs.
Yep.
Stairs. All alone for just one kiss.
Just and Kiss. Those really didn't sound that bad, but let me hear them again.
For just one kiss.
See how soft that last S is, though, comparatively. How small the waveform is there. It was a pretty soft S. I think this is the other one right here. You can tell it's a lot bigger than that one. Let me see.
Just one kiss.
I'm just gonna touch this one. 3 dB.
For just one kiss.
Not gonna worry about that last one. It's quiet enough that I don't think it's gonna be abrasive. I hope.
Paradox of life.
Now that X is almost an S sound there, and looks very similar. Look at that. I bet that's it right there.
Of life.
Yeah, it has some sibilance to it. I'm gonna hit that. Maybe with like 5. Let's see, 5.7 there.
Paradox of life is something is
The S on something. Is that it right there?
something is
Yeah, that's a big one.
something to see.
Still popping a little there. Let's see.
There's something to see. There's something to see. There's something to see.
C, the S on C.
See.
Yeah, it's not as bad, but I'm gonna hit that one too. About 6.
To see an infinite swirling.
S on swirling.
Swirling.
Just about 5.
Infinite swirling. Shining sea.
A lot of S's. I've noticed that about me. I seem to use a lot of S's. I had a phrase the other day where literally it was ridiculous. There must have been 5 or 6 S's in like, it was like every word had an S in it. It was like S, S, S. I was like, geez, come on.
Shining sea.
And I'm just going to touch this one.
Shining sea. One moment I'm overwhelmed with gratitude. The next time in a mood.
The X. Is this X?
Next time in.
Yeah. X evidently can sound like an S. I wasn't aware of that, but I'm hearing sibilance on these X's.
The next time in a mood. I still feel.
Okay, the S on still. It's not. It's kind of. I think. Is that it? Let me see.
Feel like I'm trying.
Oh, maybe this is it.
Still feel like.
Yeah, it's up there, I guess. Let's go about 7 on that. Let's see.
Still feel like.
Still popping a bit. Let me see.
I still feel like I'm trying to earn your love. Oh Lord above.
All right. That seems like all the S's there. Let's go to the last one here.
But why would I do that when you said,
One's not too bad. Just go 5 on that one. Let's see.
when you said you give it for free? Teach me, baby, I just don't know.
There's an S and just there, but it's really not popping too hard for me.
I just don't know.
I think I'll leave it alone.
I just don't know. Maybe I should go.
S and should.
Should go. Should go.
I think I'll just touch that one. Just give it a little bit, like 2.5.
Should go.
Sometimes you don't really notice until you put it in context. That's why I keep backing this thing up.
Maybe I should go.
It seems okay there.
An old lantern to light my way. I wish I could stay.
The S in wish and stay. I'm not sure where it is in wish. Is that it?
Wish I could stay.
Yep. I'm just going to touch that one. And I'm guessing this is stay. Let's see.
Stay.
See, normally, because of the latency these headphones are creating, the audio is a little bit behind the video of when I start this. Normally, it's matched up. Like if I'm listening in my other headphones, and I can tell both visually and audibly where these things are. But I can't because the audio is a little behind the video here, the visual. I have to kind of guess, but I believe that's the S.
Stay.
Yeah, that's the S of stay, and that's because of what I described before. How these look more solid. They don't have these edges. See how these edges are kind of lighter than the center part of this, and this doesn't have that so much. It just looks more solid.
Stay. It feels like I'm trying.
There's now that F kind of has a sibilance to it too, to my ear. Let's see.
It feels like I'm
I think this is it.
It feels like I'm
Just it's slight, but F kind of sounds like S. F. They both have that kind of. I'm just going to do a slight reduction on that one.
It feels like I'm trying to save.
Now the S on feels.
It feels like I'm trying.
Is this the S? You know,
Like I'm trying.
no. Must be in here.
Feels like I'm trying.
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to expand this a little more. Oh, it might be right there.
Like I'm trying.
No. Huh. It's in a strange spot. What is this?
Like I'm trying. It feels like I'm trying. It feels like I'm
I don't know if it's all contained in that. That might be the whole. Let's see. What is this?
feels like I'm trying.
No, it's not.
Feels like I'm trying.
I don't know. Honestly, that S isn't bothering me that much.
Like I'm trying.
And it's a little bit hidden visually here. It's not, for some reason, it's not standing out like that. I imagine it's like right here.
Feels like I'm trying. Feels like I'm trying.
Yeah. I don't know.
Feels like I'm trying.
Sounds like it's past it.
Like I'm trying.
Yeah, that's like. So it's literally like right in here maybe. But it's not that bad. I guess what I'll do is I'll just bump this area just a little bit.
Feels like I'm trying to save.
Come back to here.
It feels like I'm trying to save.
Now the S on save. Which is probably this.
Save.
Yep. It's about 5 on that, I think. Oops.
To save the world. Oh, what a fool I am.
And there we go. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, if I hear something later on, I'm going to turn our resolution back on. I'm going to cut the end off that. Still at a pretty high resolution here. I could go in and like cut out these little areas. Maybe that's a little nitpicky for me, but I think I do sometimes. Little dead areas between lines and stuff. I mean, you know, you can do that or not do it. I don't know. Cut the dead space off the end there. And in here. Could put crossfades too, but it's really probably not necessary, I don't think. And I'm going to save, and I'm going to listen to it.
This thing called life, it waxes and wanes like the stuff in my brains. People you meet, they look at you nice, but they're hungry inside. You call out my name 'cause you've had enough. It gets so tough. Never before have I felt like this. It's such a bliss.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm stopping here.
Actually, not sure if I mentioned that, but I did add a harmony part to that chorus. Just this third part here. Just a little harmony, just to try and spice it up a little, I guess. Actually, technically not a third harmony because the first two were unison. They're just doubled. So actually just a harmony part to the doubled part I added there.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone for just one kiss. Paradox of life is something to see, an infinite swirling, shining sea.
Yeah, I still noticed something here where I did this edit. Let me hear this again.
For just one kiss, paradox of life.
You know, it almost sounds like, let me see here. I think maybe because, I don't know, let me look at this. Somehow it seems like it cut off the on this. Let me hear it soloed.
Paradox of life.
Oops, it didn't solo.
Yes. Paradox of life.
Yeah, somehow it cut off like the. There was a there. The paradox of life. I might want to go in and put that back just because.
Yes. Paradox of life.
As you can see, that's kind of clipped there. Let me see. Unsolo that.
Paradox.
Let's see.
Just one kiss. Paradox of life.
I think I will. It's a little nitpicky, perhaps. I think, as I mentioned in an earlier video here, I have been going on the premise of the idea of writing for the trash can, which is kind of silly, I guess, in a way. But at the same time, I do think there's value in it, and part of what that has meant to me is, you know, not being as critical and nitpicky of things. And this maybe is a little bit critical or nitpicky, but it's just a little annoying to me how that sounds.
Just one kiss. Paradox of life.
I'd like that the in there, so I'm going to try and add that. Let me see, is everything still set right correctly here?
Just one kiss. Paradox.
And what I'll do is I'll just say like the beginning, the paradox or something like that, and hopefully I'll be able to fit those two together here.
Just one kiss. Just one kiss. Just one kiss. The paradox.
Okay, what happened there was evidently muted. This time around, somehow it muted this track. The other time, it was it didn't mute it, and that became kind of a problem. This time it did mute it. I'm not sure. And I tried to look and see what was different, and I don't know. I don't see any mutes or anything on. So let me see if I get this. This is a little bit tricky here. But if I get just that, let's see what this sounds like.
Just one kiss. The paradox.
Whoops. Let me cut this back. It's a little tricky. I see it's cutting into that there, so I got to be kind of surgical here. Now that's keeping the whole word of paradox that I said in there. Let me see.
Just one kiss. The paradise of life is...
There's something happening there. A little bit of a bleed over. What if I cut it to there? Let's see.
Just one kiss. The paradise of life.
There we go. I think that sounds okay. I was doing a little fancy editing there. What I'm doing essentially is, actually let me cut off this. This part is unnecessary. So basically on that part that I just recorded, I just said the paradox. And I was able to get the, which is this blob right here, which was not there at all. Somehow it had been cut off on the other take. And basically the P sound, which is just that little thing right there, that little zigzag. That's really what I wanted mostly. I'm keeping the rest of, or part of the rest of the word paradox in there, just because, I guess. Sounds okay. Let's hear it one more time.
Just one kiss. The paradise of life.
And it sounds natural, see, even though I ended up putting, I think that's only, let me see here. Can I solo this? No, for some reason, I think it just solos it within the take lanes. It doesn't solo it. But what this is, I think, is just, it's only part of the word paradox, actually. Like the first half of it, like para maybe, is in there. But it's fitting together because I with the other track that says it. That probably sounds a little confusing to me, but this track had the word paradox in it too. And you'll see I'm using this part of this track, and then this part of the next one. So it's like it's using para from this and dox on this one, and it's sticking them together so that when we look at them up here, you know, this is what the whole waveform looks like now. And you can see this is the part that's like para, and this is the part that's dox.
Just one kiss. The paradise of life is something.
And it sounds natural. I mean, it does to me anyway. It doesn't sound like there was an edit there. Paradox sounds like one word, but there were actually two different takes.
Just one kiss. The paradise of life.
I don't want to be overly anal about this, but watch what happens if I just loop this part. Oops, I didn't do it. If I just loop this part and play it back, and I'll solo it, we'll hear what that is.
The para.
See, it's just the para. That's all that part is. So this next part, which is from a different take, is the dox of paradox. So literally we've got two different takes just for the word para. Well, it's the and para, and then dox on another one. See, if I loop this one, it'll just be dox. Whoops, didn't do it like I wanted it to. Now it's doing something strange there. Hold on. I don't know why it's doing that actually. What if I do it there? No. I'm gonna have to manually move this. It's like keeping it. Okay, let's try this. Turn that off. Wow, that's strange. Never seen that behavior before. I'm not sure why that is, honestly. It won't let me loop the section that I want here. No, it keeps, see, it's supposed to be looping only the section that I highlight, but it's starting here instead of there. I don't know why it's doing that. That's strange. Let me see if I did it over here. Would it let me do it here? No, it's still, maybe that's the smallest loop it will allow or something, because I can't even shrink it manually here. It just moves the whole thing over. I've never noticed that before. Almost makes me want to close and reopen the program. In fact, I think I will. I just saved it. Close it, let it sit here for a second. I don't play video games. You don't actually see this. Okay? Let's reopen this. I don't know if this is a glitch or something that I've just never noticed before, but sometimes these sorts of things, if you just restart the program, they correct themselves. If it is a glitch, it could be that I'm at a resolution where it won't allow me to make a smaller loop. See, I don't know where that part was. It was in the last verse, I believe. Almost looks like maybe. I know I saved. Just let me see where is this? Oh, I gotta restart this thing every time I open this, I guess.
An old lantern to light my way. I wish I could stay. Beats me, baby, I just don't know. And maybe I should go. It feels like I'm trying.
Where is that? Is it in the second verse? Oh yeah, here it is. Honestly, I was getting a little nervous because I didn't see the edits there. I don't know why why I even care so much about this, but let me see. If I turn this off, maybe that was it. Maybe because I had that thing on. I bet it'll do it now. Nope, it won't. That's strange. I've never noticed that before. Look at that, it won't even let me make a selection. Oh, it is, I see. Let's see. No, huh. I've never noticed that. I wonder, sure doesn't seem right. But maybe it is, maybe it, now let me do it for this one. Yeah. But it wouldn't let me do it for this one. No, not that size anyway. I think like that's must be the smallest size of loop you can make. Oh well. All I was trying to do was just play the second part of this. Just to show that was how that was broken up into parts there, but it's no big deal. It's probably more information than we need anyway. Well, I learned something new there. I guess what that is there is a limit to how small of a loop you can make, and I mean that is really small. What I could do, I suppose, is this. Let me see if this works. Let me turn this off. And let's see. I'll make a cut here. Now, if I double-click this, that should be just that section of audio. Let's see. Yeah. In fact, I don't even know if that's the full word docs. It'll loop it that way. That could be just the da of docs. Let's try and let's see. Let's undo that. Undo the split. Let's see. If I start here with, yeah, I think it's. If I put a split right there. Now, that should be docs. It sounds weird, looped, but that's docs of paradox. I don't know why I found that. I don't know why I went into such detail there, but it's just interesting to me, the editing capabilities of these things. And I guess we found a limitation, at least unless it's a glitch, I don't know, that the loop, there's a minimum loop size, and that is, I mean, that's only a 16th note. Let's go up to, let's see if it'll do, What would that be, 32nd note? That'd be really small, like that big. Now, see, it's like, I'm guessing that's a 16th note. Maybe that's the smallest it'll go. Yeah, it's a 32 note resolution, so let me see. No, that's more than a, that's more like a, what is that? It's like more like an 8th note, I think. That seems like the smallest resolution the loop will go. I believe that's an 8th note, which, you know, you can see I was able to, by that other move I made, I was able to make it even smaller and hear just that small little fraction in that. Let's see, I guess I could show you what that is. Let me see. Yeah, this is loop construction, which allows you to edit individual samples, basically, which all a sample is just recorded audio. So that's the and the P of paradox. The P, that's what it's saying. Listen. It sounds a little weird in the loop. That would sound a little weird anyway. But I mean, you can do strange things to them here, like you can mess with the pitch of it, for instance. What do you have to do? You have to turn that on, I think. And then you can come over here and, like, say, I don't know, make it go 4. I think this is in semitones. So if we go up 4 semitones, now listen to it. I can turn that off. Oh, no, I can't. That's got to stay on. Anyway, I don't use this too often, and I'm not sure why, like, it's doing that stuttering there. Let me see if I can change that. Yeah, it's doing that. How about whole note? Nope, still doing it. Quarter note? No. I don't know. What was it on? 8th note? See, if I turn this off, it's not doing that stuttering. But for some reason, when I turn on the loop, it's like, I don't know, it's doing something to it. The BPM is wrong, for one thing. I don't know why it's choosing that. Anyway, I don't know enough about this, although I could do this, just to give you an example. Let's see how this sounds.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone for okay,
that's just that section. Let me see. This is going into a slightly an area I'm not super familiar with, but let's see.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone for
if I turn that off.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone for let's
see. Let's just bring it back to there.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone. I waited at the...
Now what it's done here is it's just brought in this section of audio and into this thing here, which allows you to manipulate it in certain ways. There's that darn echo again. Now if I turn this loop on, it does something.
I waited at the bottom of...
I don't know what it's doing there. I think it's trying to fit it to a different BPM maybe, which is just strange. But what I wanted to show was just how this works, which is just this pitch manipulation. Watch, I'll change this to D.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone.
So you can see that it lowered the pitch of it there. Now listen to this.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone.
Now it raised it up. You can do funny things with that. I'm not as familiar with it as I could be in terms of, I don't know why when I turn the loop on it introduces that kind of stuttering sound there.
I waited at the bottom of the stairs all alone.
See, there it sounds smooth, but as soon as I turn this on,
I waited at the bottom.
I think that it's trying to time fit it to something other than it originally is, and it's introducing that stuttering there. I guess, let me see something here. Whoops.
All alone, just one kid.
Whoops. I see.
All alone, for just one kid.
Okay, anyway, that was definitely a tangent there, and I apologize if I got a little. I have used that, and honestly, usually I don't have that issue. I'm not sure why it was stuttering there. I'm really not sure, and I don't know. I don't know. I don't know why it was doing it. Like I said, I think it was trying to time. It has that function where it can take things and like change them into different tempos, I suppose. You know, it can change the tempos of things, but I don't know why it was stuttering there. I don't use it enough to be that. I don't use that function in particular enough to really be that familiar with it. I have used it just to like grab something and change the pitch of it sometimes, but usually it's not. It doesn't give me that much of an issue. In any case, where are we at here? I'm over an hour on this already. I think I'll stop for this for now. I went a little longer than I expected to. And we're making some progress here, and if you'll allow me to take my little tangents, I will return with some more, and thank you for watching and listening.